A village in need. The village of Pineacre has been struck by an unusual malady. They have put out word that they will pay a handsome sum of silver for anyone who can help them put a stop to this malady. The company commanders are leery that the village can actually pay the impressive sum they claim, but work is a little light at the moment, and so they send a group of you to do a sort of advance preliminary investigation of the village. Your burdens here are one, we start just outside the village of Pineacre. Pineacre is nestled inside of a huge pine forest, just towering pine trees, like, as far as the eye can see. You're actually on a road that leads, that kind of leads directly to Pineacre. You can't see Pineacre yet because the tree coverage is so heavy. But you're on this road. There's no controversy about where Pineacre is. And as you're making your way, you're all on foot, you see someone about 200, 300 paces ahead down the road coming from the direction of Pineacre. The person seems to have a sort of shuffle to their gait, and they do occasionally stop and they raise their hand as if to wave at the three of you. What do you do?
I'm gonna address the other two hunters. I'm gonna say, should be cautious. This might be a trap.
Yes. And there's some thing in the village. Maybe it's infected or stuff like that.
Uh, Rias was bee smitten, so I'm going to look. I might take a few steps closer, but still keeping distance. In fact, bow's out, arrows knocked. But I'm going to look specifically to see if there's any signs of weird touch to them that might be confuddling the mind. At least rule that out as an option.
Indeed. I think that will trigger the hunt roll. The hunt roll says, as soon as I pull it up, you take a light die for exploring the world. Well, actually, when you press ever deeper in pursuit of your goals, and we will have a goal which I'll define here in a moment, you take a light die for exploring the world and asking the GM questions about it. So, what questions might you have here?
Uh, is he's got this wobble to him? Is he distressed because there is specifically a weird curse that is maybe addling the brain?
Interesting. I think that's an interesting note about your character that that's the first thing you would think of, but we'll explore that perhaps later. You get one light die for asking the question. You get a second light die if you have a skill or piece of equipment that will make your hunt easier.
Transformation is the one
Good.
that comes to mind.
Go ahead and make a 2 die hunt roll.
Sure. It's a 4.
4. You get a token, but you encounter something terrible. Go ahead and note your token. What you learn is determined entirely by me, and the only thing that the hunt roll adjudicates is whether you get a token and whether you encounter something terrible. This person, a man, gets closer. He's dressed in what looks like sort of like rugged logger attire, heavy boots, a work shirt, very strong and strapping. That's nothing surprising. This is a land filled with trees, right? Big trees. Stumbling forward, and the thing you'll notice as he gets closer is he's waving, but he's definitely not looking at the three of you. He's waving to something behind you, perhaps? What do you do?
We all three learn that he's waving for something behind us.
It's just, it appears he's not looking at you, and you can convey that information, Rias, as needed.
Yeah. Um, Trying to see who is the most like uh physically capable of the three of us to say, check behind us. There might be an ambush awaiting, but I don't want to take my eyes off this guy.
There's no one behind you. There's no one on the road. And if he's waving at someone, you don't see the person he's waving at. Vendra, what do you do?
Although we're not seeing anyone, I want to explore if there's like some illusion going on, something's trying to hide.
Yeah, how do you do so?
Um, I I check for, if there's like any indication of magic going on here.
Yeah, make your hunt roll. The question seems reasonable to me. Do you have a skill or piece of equipment that will help you?
I've got trickery,
Oh, good.
so
That works.
that applies.
Yeah, roll 2 dice.
So that's hunt 2. That's a 4.
I don't think. How are you actually looking? Like, what are you doing to try to sense it?
Um, I'm picking up a stone and throw it in the direction and see if it hits something invisible,
Nothing happens. I will tell you though that you might be suddenly aware that you don't hear any bird song. You don't hear the scuttling of insects or small creatures in the grass. It's very, very quiet. Talia, this person's getting closer and closer. What do you do?
I urge them to stop.
They don't respond, and they continue shuffling down, and they're very nearly upon you at this point. You can.
I
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
Yes, I have bolas with me, and I take them in hand. And if it's too close to me, I will use them to entangle him.
At this point, the man is very close, close enough to hear. You can see that his eyes are very bloodshot and ringed with red, and he also has red smears around his mouth and red dribbles coming out of his ears. Blood, perhaps? I don't know. It's a very, very bright orange kind of red. It doesn't really look like blood. As he stumbles forward, he's waving and calling out to someone that you can't see, and who knows if he can see. He's not responding to your entreaties, and he's very nearly upon you. What do you all do?
As I say, and know that I saw that he's sick or something, uh, I'll try to making stumble with my bolas to avoid any contact with him.
I don't even need an eye roll. There's nothing dangerous here because you've had plenty of time to sort out what to do here. Just describe what it looks like when you take him down.
I target the lower legs. I wait for him to be to a distance. I know I'm largely capable of hitting right, and I launch the bolas. They get around his legs.
He falls, and he falls face down, and he's still kind of scrambling and scratching at the dirt. Rias, this is not a wear issue. This is something else. What do you do?
It looks like he must have eaten something. we might not find it here in the village, so I think I'm fine just leaving him here and pressing on into the village itself. But I'm going to keep an eye out for something that he could have eaten, a fruit or uh, something along those lines that might have caused hallucinations. But that's not my area of expertise.
Talia, if you leave him, are you leaving the bolus too?
How does he react if we walk past him, just close to
He's
him?
trying to get at you. He's clawing.
Oh.
He's scrambling. He can't reach you. If you try to get the bolus, that could be maybe a problem. But he's otherwise quite vulnerable, though.
Yes, I don't want to let my bolas here. I've got. I also got a cudgel, hefty cudgel, and
Are you killing him?
I just put my hands towards him where the bolas are, and if he tries something, I will not let him.
He does. You can
Twice.
tell you're not going to be able to get close to him without him trying to grab and indeed bite at you with these orange red stained teeth. He's just like,
I smash it in the head.
no die roll needed. He's quite dead. His skull caved surprisingly easy, I would say. Talia, remind me again what you're doing. Or I'm sorry, Rias.
I think we're ready to just move into the village.
You're not far.
Um,
You have a set goal here. Discover the source of the malady.
Hmm.
Vendra, what are you doing?
I'm taking a closer look at the corpse because I suspect it might be. I mean, the town is called Pineacre. Maybe it's some kind of sap.
Make a hunt roll. What questions do you have here?
Um, so I picture it looking like she's taking a closer look and then she's trying to figure out whether this is like some common sap or something. So she goes to a nearby tree and puts a knife in it and tries to figure out if it's the same or not.
Yeah, you can make a 2 die hunt roll. Do you have knife in your equipment?
I do have plants as a
Yeah.
skill,
Okay, good. Yeah,
and
that's perfect.
okay, let's see. That's a 6.
Nice. Take your token. The trees, not all the trees, but some of the trees, it's not sap, but some of the bark is covered by what appears to be a vivid red-orange moss. Talia, what are you doing?
I'll get to Vendura to help her with looking to this moss, and I'll get to her one of my steel bottle. If you
You can,
want to get some, to keep some.
you can take a sample and add it to your found equipment.
Yeah, I'm just gonna tell the others to make sure not to touch it directly.
Rias, you've gone ahead into the village. This is a good opportunity to tell us what you look like. What is your general demeanor?
Reese is Naganese, darker skin, this sort of like curly, dark brown hair. Still has Naganese clothing, which, for sake of being a little fast about it, is very Persian, Arabic coated. So white linen, wrapped, head wrap. Also carries wears around his waist a white tiger pelt, something that I think makes him stick out a little bit. And carries, like, almost looks like loaded to bear with weapons. Has a over his shoulder a Naganese bow and quiver with arrows, and then this long ornate spear. um, and a bronze round shield, which I think more iron and steel might be common in this area, but the bronze works well enough. Um, yeah.
Indeed. That's good. Rias Ilsmat, right? That's a very Naganese
Mhm.
sort of name. When you step into the, as you as the road kind of goes into the village and you weren't far, of course, there's pine trees all around, and the village is in a clearing in the middle of this great pine forest. It's not a very big village. The first thing you'll notice off as you enter, off to your right, there is what appears to be a church, presumably a church of some logging saint, most likely. There's a couple of little houses and shacks and things. You can see what is clearly a smithy because you can see the forge just outside the shack. There is a stream that cuts the village in half, and there's a bridge that goes over the stream. And on the other side of the stream, there's other village buildings, but maybe most interestingly, you'll notice the great smoke of some sort of bonfire lit on the other side of the bridge. What do you do?
I'm gonna wait for the others to catch up. I don't want to get too separated, but assuming the others do eventually come into the village, I'll make a sort of head nod over towards that bonfire. Uh, it doesn't look very good.
Indeed, indeed. Uh, does the bonfire make heavy smoke around the place, or
It's the smoke hasn't like the wind is not blowing to like cause the whole area to be smoky, but you can see the smoke rising up. I want to talk about this village a little bit more. One of the things that the company commanders was interested in was whether this village actually has any money, right? That's all they care about. And I'm going to say that your assessment tells you that yes, they do. Looking around, we'll just paint the scene. Looking around, how can you each tell that this is a prosperous little logging village? Or at least it was before the malady.
So Wendra notices that um, the doors in this village are made from a special wood that was actually imported, and that just screams wealth because they have wood right next to their village, but they choose to have fancy wood for their doors.
the bridge that crosses the river is a covered bridge uh, with very nice features painted in white and red, and the there is saints painted inside and outside of the panels. And getting to the bridge is like a little travel with the saints.
I think in the roads, like buried or embedded in the roads themselves, every so often are these reflective stones that catch moonlight and starlight and make it easy to navigate the village, even in low, dark, or no light scenarios. Getting them out might, not be worth the amount of money that the effort would take, but for a village to do this is not something that you wouldn't do if you didn't have the extra funds.
So you've at least, it sounds like you've at least approached or crossed the bridge that the river is babbling under. Let's just keep going with kind of examining the village as you approach this. It sounds like you were interested in the fire. Vendra, what do you do?
I think I'll check out the smithy and spend a hunt token.
Oh, great. Let's talk about the smithy. So you have not quite yet gone across the bridge, and the smithy's right at the edge of the bridge, like it's right there. So it's
Yeah,
not,
so I'm staying slightly behind the
yeah, it's no
others.
trouble to do that. No trouble whatsoever. Well, I will tell you that The smithy is not currently being worked. There is no activity. In fact, the forge is cold. And that means you can kind of poke around at least the workspace area, which is outside, right? How are you searching for your treasure? Or how are you searching for things? What are you like? What are you actually doing here?
Is this a good moment to describe how I look?
I would love that. Yeah, please do.
Yeah. So, Vendra is a rather small woman in, let's say, her 20s, and she's got long ginger hair into big braids, flowers in her hair, and she's wearing a dress with intricate web patterns. And she's got a wooden shield and a cutlass. Um, and I think she'll look if there's like cupboards or treasure chests or stuff like that.
A treasure chest.
Yeah.
Certainly, you would go look for that. Yeah, that's fantastic. You get your hunt roll. Go ahead and or no, you're just spending a token, right?
Yep.
Okay. In that case, you get a treasure free and clear. Let me. I'll grab you one in a moment. I want to continue with Rias and Talia. Are you both crossing the bridge at this point?
Yes.
Yes.
What are you doing as you cross the bridge? This is I would say it's like at the widest swell of the stream at this point.
Now that you've asked that question, it makes me want to know if I want to check under the bridge for anything nasty.
I don't know.
Sure,
There's a lot of weird stuff going on in this village.
Yeah, absolutely.
I wouldn't leave any stone unturned.
Yeah, before you cross the bridge, I think Rias will head down to the embankment and just peer into the darkness underneath the bridge. Make sure there's nothing nasty about to grab us.
Yeah, you got your hunt roll. Any specific questions?
I mean, is there anything nasty under the bridge to grab us? Or alternatively, like, I guess, I mean, I will be keeping an eye out for this orange moss, but we've seen that on tree bark. But if it's also on river stones, that's curious as well.
Yeah, make a hunt roll. You got one die.
Right.
Do you have a skill or equipment for the second die?
I mean, if I squint really hard, darkness, because it's dark under there. Other than that, I don't see.
I'll take it. I think it's good. Yeah.
Sure. Cool. 2 die. 6.
Nice. Take your token. I don't know if you see anything dangerous under the bridge. No trolls this time. But I will tell you this. The water has a distinctly reddish pink hue to it.
We're definitely going to point this out to Talia up above. By chance, do we know how far the river's origin is, or how far upriver?
You can follow it and see how it goes.
Splitting up is always a fun thing to do in these. Yeah, I think I'll keep it in mind. I'm more curious about the bonfire, and I think it's probably a little closer. But if we don't find anything there, going upriver is the next option.
On the other side of the bridge, the stables are off to one side on the left, and then to the right is what appears to be an inn or some kind of, pub or something. Again, no activity, no people. It's very quiet. All you can really hear is that fire. And as you get a little closer, you can hear what is very clearly prayers being sent up by the voices of women. Past the well, you can see this pyre that's been set up. You can see this great fire is being tended by a group of priestesses or sisters who, by their markings on their black robes, indicate that these are followers of Saint Fatima, the charcoal burner. Now, Saint Fatima is the saint of charcoal burners, but also the saint of fires that are meant to serve a holy purpose. As you cross the bridge, Talia, what do you see on the robes of these priestesses that indicate to you that they are, in fact, followers of Saint Fatima? What are the markings?
The the fabric of the robes are burned down on the extremities, um, where on
Burnt
the
hymns. That's good. Yeah,
yes.
I like it. I'll just tell you, they have bodies stacked like cordwood inside the pyre. You can see them stacked up, burning. Apparently, they're dealing with the malady in their particular way. They've brought in, this is another way you know it's a wealthy village. They've brought in a group of priestesses from a church that is not local to help deal with this problem, right? Let me give you your treasure, Vendra, before we continue. Vendra, you will actually find a quite unattended, like, lockbox, a money box, that would have been used by the smith to, that they would collect for their services. It's a fair amount of silver, equal to 1 gold. You can go ahead and note that. Do you then rejoin the rest of the group, Vendra?
I do.
So the three of you are now on the other side of the bridge. You're seeing this ritual take place where these sisters of Fatima are praying over this great pyre where quite a lot of villagers have been burned. You can see the silhouettes of their bodies in the fire and smoke. You can smell. It's a really good smell, actually. It smells quite a lot like a lovely sort of barbecue feast. What are you all doing?
Are there people other than the sisters around the bonfire?
There are a few people who are not dressed like them, and they are presumably villagers. Yeah. What do you do?
We were hired to try and put a stop and identify the source of this disease. So I kind of, now knowing that the bonfire is not inherently malicious, I think going upriver is the next thing I want to explore. I'll tell that to the others.
Are you breaking off from the group to do that? Or is
If
anyone
none of them
going?
wants
Is
to,
anyone going?
I think Vendra wants to talk to the priestesses.
What about you, Talia?
I want to speak to some of the villagers.
Okay. Let's just have those scenes. Rias, it sounds like you're on your own. You can certainly
So-
head upriver.
sure.
Vendra, you'll see the sisters saying their prayers, stoking the fire, very workmanlike. They don't seem to be particularly bothered by the fact that they're burning up humans. They're also very old, really, really old. They're all like they all look like they're north of 70 or 80 years old, hunched over, shriveled. What do you do?
I'm going to approach them and say, "Greetings."
One of them turns and says, "Greetings to you, though they are not celebratory ones. Though I suppose we could celebrate the benevolence of Fatima, who helps us with her cleansing fires."
You don't seem to be local. Are you able to tell me more what's going on?
You can go ahead and make your hunt roll. Your questions are asked. Do you have another die or another skill or equipment that'll help you here?
I mean, I've got improvisation, so I could improvise some,
Story.
yeah,
Maybe
story
she
while
asks
I'm
like,
here, make
who's
up.
asking, right? And then what do you say?
I'm gonna say I'm like a pilgrim,
Mm.
um, seeking out a place to stay for the night and making up a story that I'm actually also following Saint Fatima.
Oh, interesting. Okay, good.
So
Yeah.
I came here accidentally, you know.
Very good. We'll see how that goes. Go ahead and roll a 200 dice.
Well, that's a one, and I lose my token.
You got 2 1s. Did you have, how many tokens did you have?
Yeah, I've got one.
Okay.
So no, it's none.
Talia, I'm going to give you a chance to talk to the villagers a bit before whatever happens here. What do you do?
Um, I'm looking for the people in charge, and I ask around
Yeah,
who's in charge of this village.
you can see like a sort of like an older man who is crying, uh, well dressed, fur trimmed collar. These people do have money. What do you do?
Hi,
He says,
I'm Talia from the company of Salt and Iron.
"Ah,
We
so
were
then you're
convoked here.
you're answering our call then."
We're answering your call, and uh, we hope to honor our contract.
We are in desperate need of your help. That is certainly true. Everything has gone wrong.
What gone wrong?
Some weeks
Is
ago. Well, make the hunt roll at this point.
yeah. Um, I'm trying to push him about maybe that kind of contract, and if he wants us to pursue what is going on, he will need to honor his part of the contract using my deception skill.
How is deception helping you there?
I don't know if there is a contract, if some money or maybe some.
Oh, you're trying to. Oh, you're basically trying to see if he's deceiving you. Oh, that's good. Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah. Got it.
and I want my money for getting here, so
I
that's
see. I like it. Yeah.
I don't know if
Make a
some
2 die hunt roll. We'll see what you learn.
control. It's a 4.
And you encounter something terrible. I will tell you your terrible thing right away. As you're having this conversation with this man, you're looking at the not completely burned up yet body of a little girl staring dead eyed out at you from the fire. And as you have the conversation, you look and you don't see her anymore on the fire. But that's neither here nor there at the moment. I'm not going to roleplay this, I'll just tell you. He explains to you that several weeks ago, there was massive flooding. They had a big flood. And they've had floods before. The rivers flooded before. That's not so much a problem. Except this flood brought with it this red moss. And they'd done their best to clear out this red moss. It was all over everything. And that's when it started to happen. The people who are affected by this malady, they start to forget who they are. They start to forget basic bodily maintenance types of things to the point of they begin to wither away. They begin to wander, and ultimately they become quite violent. Vendra, as you're talking to the sisters, the pyre shifts a little bit as one of the bodies maybe kind of shifts in the fire, and there's a bit of a and sparks and embers are flying, and the sisters do their best to like keep the embers under control. This is what they're good at. Talia, this man who is the sort of mayor of the village, he says, that yes, what they're asking for is going to be very dangerous, and they're willing to pay as much as they are able in order to stop this malady. And by the look of him, you don't have any reason to believe that he's lying. You certainly don't have any reason to believe that they don't have the money based off what you see all around you. Ria Silsmont, you're making your way up the stream. Just following it, or what are you doing?
Yeah, so long as there's that pinkish reddish hue, and also, the moss on the trees, if that's still sticking around, we're gonna just follow that towards, as ideally as far as it'll take us until it becomes unreasonable to continue just because of time.
Make the hunt roll.
Oh boy, I don't know if I have skills or equipment that would help me here. Oh,
Also, since I just lost all my hunt tokens, you can spend yours
yeah, I was wondering
if
if I
you
wanted
risk
to.
worse.
I was wondering if I wanted to save those for the set goal, but I also think we're kind of getting close to it. So yeah, before I do this hunt roll, could I spend my 2 hunt tokens?
You can spend your 2 hunt tokens, absolutely. I'll tell you what you
Sure.
find in a moment. Go ahead and make your hunt
Sure.
roll.
And I think it's just gonna be 1 die.
Hmm.
And thank God, because that is a
There's
1.
a 1. That's a good thing you spent them. Good shout, Michael. Yeah. You're both running into both groups are about to have a lot of trouble. Not great trouble. Rias, you find what is probably the source of the malady. The stream goes on for some time, but you can see a large patch of this red moss. It's thick and it's radiating out from what appears to be like a gap in a hill face. Like there's like rocks and trees and stuff, and underneath it you can see that red is thick and radiating out. And it clearly has gotten into the river. Now, you don't know about the flooding, but you can put 2 and 2 together later with the rest, and you'll know that probably the flooding caused this to get into the river, right? Or loosened something. You have found the source of the malady and completed the set goal. Here's the problem. The problem is there's a wolf eating the red moss. The wolf looks up at you. It has the red eyes, the dribbling red fluids coming off its jaws, out of its ears and tear ducts. As it lopes towards you, it even has kind of a shuffling lope, kind of like that man did. You are in combat as it leaps at you. It's a wobbly leap, but it's a leap. You're at combat. It is an endurance 7. Please tell me how you're vulnerable.
Well,
how you're exposed.
Yeah, I mean, I'm alone. I'm without my fellow company members. I think the ground here, because there was recent flooding, it's muddier than I'm used to, and it's hard to maneuver.
Go ahead and make a weak point roll to see what your weak point is
Sure.
for the combat.
My weak point is 2.
2. Let's go ahead and get your first combat roll. You need to get a 7 on a 6-sided die. Good luck.
Yeah, and we'll see how that goes. Cool. It's a 4.
A 4. Go ahead and just describe the first bit of the combat as it leaps toward you.
So when I realized that it's actually, I think this first round of combat, I think we're still sticking to range, and so I've got my bow and I'm moving back, but the mud is keeping my feet stuck. But I loose like an arrow at this wolf, and I think it actually enters, but does no discernible damage.
Fantastic. You're having this conversation. Vendra, the sisters don't really know the precise details of what's going on here. They just answered the call. They needed to burn some bodies on the cleansing pyre of Saint Fatima. While she's explaining this to you, some of the other sisters start to scream as the burning bodies in the pyre reach out and grab them and pull them into the pyre. And before you know it, there are burning bodies falling out of the pyre, grabbing and attacking everyone in sight. The two of you are in combat. Please tell me how you are exposed right now.
Well, me personally, I'm focused on the person I was talking to, so this whole situation catches me off guard.
What's your weak point?
3.
3. Talia, are you participating in the combat or are you running?
I'm participating in the combat. I'm built for it. I'm a sturdy, large woman with large shoulders, short hair, and I've saw my fair share of fights.
Oh yeah.
And
how are you exposed right now?
My clothes are, I like some fine clothes, maybe on over my leather armor, and it's flammable.
That's not great.
No.
make your roll.
And it's a 2.
So we have a 3 and a 2, and the endurance that you have to overcome is 9. That's the group endurance for all of the burning. There's about half a dozen of them, these burning people. Vendra, why don't you go ahead and roll combat 2? You need a total of 9.
I wonder if I could use something of my equipment to lower their endurance, or is that during
maybe.
combat?
It might work. What do you do?
I mean, Vendra, her background is like she was left by her pirate crew to starve on an island, so she's always got like a bottle of water with her. So because she's a survivalist, and she'll use that.
Okay, fantastic. Do you is that something from your equipment that you're marking off? Are you taking up a spot for that?
I'll take it from my flexible equipment.
So you have like a big jug of water.
Yeah.
Fantastic. It takes up a spot. It is spent, but I will let you lower the endurance to 8 with that.
All right.
With that in mind, go ahead and roll combat 2.
Oh, 2 3s.
Not great, Vendra. Begin the combat. What does it look like? If you're taking the hit, describe that. Otherwise, describe how it hits your armor.
Yeah, I mean, I do take out my water bottle and splash it on them, and there's obviously smoke coming off them. And they grab my wooden shield, and that goes up in flame. So I'm using that.
Fantastic. Talia, you didn't take any hits, but describe the first part of your combat.
I'm getting between the flame people and the sisters, or some of the villagers, the area I'm in, and I grab my cudgel with my 2 hands, and I smash and I bat. But first to push the flame people back inside the pyre, more than to harm them.
Let's go back to Rias Ilsmat. Rias, it's combat 2. If you're continuing, you need 7 total.
It's an 11.
11, nice.
No weak point.
No weak point. Please describe how you destroy this thing.
So what I think we see with Rias is as this wolf gets closer and the arrow doesn't stop it or slow it in any way, he continues backpedaling and does this practiced sort of, not pirouette, but a twist where the bow goes back on him, the shield and the spear come out, and there's a little sort of crescent cutout in the top of the shield. And Rias practiced movements put this spear in that notch, and when the wolf jumps at him, it lands on the shield and also gets impaled on the spear, and we just watch that spear go through the back of its head. And Rias is like sort of like falls back into a crouch, but hoists up the wolf and just kind of dumps it to the side.
Nice. Before we forget, go ahead and roll gold 7 to see if there's anything valuable there.
There is not.
Fantastic. I do owe you a treasure from your token spend earlier, though, and I'll get to that in a bit. Talia, Vendra, second round, combat 3. Go ahead, Talia, roll it. Looking for 8 total, or 8 on the 2 highest dice.
Just a reminder, we have 3 dice this time. No?
Oh, 3, sorry. Yeah,
Yes. So 1 more each round.
correct.
Yes. Okay. And it's a 4, 5, 5, so 10.
Did that hit any weak points?
Did not, I think.
No.
Fantastic. Let's start the combat. Vendra, describe how the tide is turning.
So after losing my shield, I grab my cutlass and I hack at them, and I mostly go for the heads and decapitate them, and that does some damage.
Talia, finish it off. How's this end?
The flame people are pushed back inside the fire, and I saw some heavy piece of wood, and I take a hit at it, and it's makes the part of the fire to crumble and trap and block and kill those flame people.
Fantastic. Vendra, go ahead and roll gold 8.
It's a 2.
Not bad. You both can divide that up as you wish. The treasure is
Let's
just
go with 1 each, maybe.
Yes.
the treasure is just going to be like you can just kind of loot the bodies for jewelry and coins they might have had on them, so you can mark 1 gold
Sure.
each. I want to take a quick 3-minute break. When we come back, we'll kind of wrap things up. I'll give you that treasure that I owe you, Rias. So just 3 or 4 minutes. Rias, you can spend some time, all 3 of you can, clearing the branches, the rocks, the other detritus that is covering up the gap where that red moss is coming out of. I assume you're taking basic precautionary measures, trying not to inhale this stuff, that kind of thing, right? You clear the rocks, and it actually clears out. It opens up what appears to be the entrance to a crypt. And you can see a passage going down. This is a crypt of some sort. This is the sort of thing that would have been very common in the ancient world, especially. And this is clearly where the moss is coming from. That's for a future delve. But for now, you do find near the entrance of the crypt your 2 treasures that you have spent your tokens on. The first is a pair of red leather gauntlets studded with the teeth and pointed scales of a fearsome reptile. Those are worth 1 gold. A velvet-lined case containing silver surgeon's tools, anatomical drawings, and notes on an unfamiliar procedure, apparently for the removal of foreign objects or strange growths. That is also worth 1 gold. You can keep those things as found equipment. If you don't have enough money, you must sell one of them to meet your burdens. And I will check in with Talia and Vendra. The contract, such as it is made. The company will get paid quite handsomely if they help clear out the malady. You know the source of it. And so there's kind of nothing else to do in the village. Is everyone capable of meeting the burdens right now?
Yes.
I am.
If you have any leftover hunt tokens, you can save them for a future delve, or you can spend them right now to get another treasure.
Can I use my token to get some more money from the man I talked to?
Oh,
Some down
sure, yeah.
payment?
Yeah, it gives you like a payment for helping out in this moment.
Yes.
A gesture of goodwill. Certainly, you can spend it for a gold. It's silver in fiction, but it's worth one capital G gold. That will conclude our delve. Everyone needs to pay their burdens right now, either in treasure or gold. And thank you all so much. I'm going to wave goodbye.